Do something! Kelly Monroe's scream cracked across the courtyard like breaking glass. Sharp, public, humiliating. Every head turned. Phones lifted, and Amina Reed, the quiet girl who never fought back, stood there absorbing every ounce of cruelty without a single word. Kelly shoved her again, harder this time, laughing loudly for the crowd. Certain she owned the moment, certain Amina would stay small, stay silent, stay easy to crush. But then Amina lifted her head, just slightly. Not in anger, not in fear, but with a calm that didn't match the violence she'd just taken. A calm that made the courtyard shift. A calm that made even Kelly hesitate. "You shouldn't have done that," Amina whispered. No threats, no shouting, just a quiet sentence that carried more weight than anything Kelly expected. And what nobody knew, not the crowd, not the teachers watching from the doorway, not even Kelly herself, was that this moment, this single act of cruelty, was the one she would soon regret. Because Amina Reed was not who they thought she was. And the girl everyone assumed was weak was about to redefine strength for the entire school. This is Hidden Black Echoes, where the stories of struggles are told. The rise and the voice of those the world tried to silence. If you believe true strength isn't loud, and the quiet ones often carry the strongest fire, tap like, hit subscribe, because what happens next in this school courtyard will expose a truth Kelly never saw coming, and a power Amina never needed to announce. Kelly stepped closer, her smirk growing louder than her voice. "What's wrong, Amina? Cat got your tongue? Or are you just scared because you're weak?" A few girls behind her giggled, eager to be included in Kelly's orbit. Amina didn't flinch, didn't speak, didn't react. She simply adjusted her glasses and continued walking. Kelly hated that. "Hey," she snapped, taking 2 aggressive steps forward. "I'm talking to you." Amina kept walking. Kelly's face twisted with irritation. "Look at me when I'm talking to you." Amina didn't, and that was when Kelly snapped completely. With zero warning, not a shout, not a threat, Kelly kicked Amina hard in the center of her back. Her white sneakers slammed into Amina's spine with enough force to knock her forward. The courtyard froze. Amina stumbled, hands scraping the pavement as she caught herself, before hitting the ground fully. Her backpack slid off her shoulder. A few notebooks spilled out, pages fluttering like wounded birds. A wave of gasps rose around them. Oh my God, she actually kicked her. Someone record this. Phones came out instantly. Kelly laughed, loud and mean, pivoting to face the crowd like she was performing. "What?" she said mockingly. "She acts like a mouse. I treat her like one." Amina remained still for a long moment, her hair falling over her face. Her breathing steadied. A tiny tremor in her shoulders revealed the pain, but only for a second. Then she pushed herself upright. Slowly, deliberately. Amina brushed the dirt from her uniform skirt, wiped her scraped hands on her thighs, and lifted her chin just enough to look in Kelly's direction. Not glare, not challenge, just look. Phones zoomed in. Kelly scoffed loudly. "Oh, please, don't pretend you're tough now. If you were, you wouldn't let everyone step on you." Amina said nothing. Her eyes softened rather than hardened, which only enraged Kelly further. Kelly stepped close again, inches from Amina's face. "Do something about it. Oh, wait, you can't." The group behind her erupted in laughter. Amina blinked once, slowly, and then, in the softest voice, so soft the laughter almost drowned it out, she whispered, "You shouldn't have done that." The courtyard fell silent again. Kelly frowned. "What did you say?" Amina didn't repeat herself. She crouched quietly to gather her notebooks, stacking them carefully with gentle, precise movements. Students watched, confused, waiting for her to cry, shout, or run to a teacher. But Amina did none of those things. She stood up, dusted off her palms, and gave Kelly one quiet, unreadable look. Not fear, not anger, just a strange calm. Kelly suddenly felt irritated again. "Are you seriously going to pretend that didn't hurt? You really are pathetic." Amina didn't reply. She simply turned to walk away, moving with a controlled grace that didn't match someone who'd just been assaulted. But before she took 3 steps, someone shouted, "Tyler, bro, look at her posture. People don't stand like that unless they know something." Another whispered, "Is she trained?" Kelly rolled her eyes. Please, she couldn't fight a pillow. Behind the crowd, Coach Ramsey, the visiting martial arts evaluator, stood watching silently. No one noticed him. His expression shifted as he studied Amina's breathing and stance. "She centered herself after impact," he murmured. Kelly didn't see him. She stormed after Amina again. "Hey, don't walk away from me!" Amina stopped but didn't turn. Kelly raised her hand, not to hit, but to shove her shoulder. Before she could touch her, Ramsey's voice cut through the courtyard. "Miss Monroe, step away!" Everyone jolted. Kelly spun around. "Who are you?" "Someone who knows exactly what you just did," Ramsey said calmly, "and someone who will be reporting it." Kelly laughed, but it sounded nervous. "You don't even work here." "Today, I do," students murmured. Kelly hesitated. Amina continued standing quietly, not hiding, not trembling, just breathing in a steady rhythm only trained fighters recognized. Ramsey glanced at her with respect. Kelly pointed at Amina desperately. "She didn't even defend herself. She's a weak little—" Amina finally turned. Soft voice. Calm expression. Same chilling warning. "You really shouldn't have done that." And this time, everyone felt it. Phones kept recording. The story had only begun. The bell rang for second period, but the courtyard incident had already spread across the school like wildfire. Students whispered Amina's quiet warning. "You shouldn't have done that," replaying it with dramatic emphasis, unsure whether it was a threat, a prophecy, or something strange she'd said out of shock. Kelly, furious that Amina hadn't cried or begged or looked afraid, doubled down. The first attack happened by the lockers. Amina was switching her textbooks when Kelly strutted up behind her with 2 friends. Without a word, Kelly slapped the books out of her hands. They hit the floor with a loud clap. Amina blinked, lowered herself, and picked them up calmly. The hallway paused. Kelly smirked. "Still quiet? Still weak? Or do you just not get social cues, Mouse?" Amina closed her locker gently. "I'm going to class." Kelly moved in front of her. "No, you're going to look at me when I talk to you." Amina looked up, and for a moment, Kelly froze. Because Amina's eyes weren't scared. They were steady, controlled, focused. Kelly quickly masked her discomfort with louder arrogance. "Fine. Walk away again. It's not like you can fight back." Amina stepped around her without a word. Kelly balled her fists. "Ugh! Who does she think she is?" Down the hallway, Mr. Torres watched, opened his mouth slightly, then turned away. Kelly noticed. She smirked. "See, nobody cares about you, Amina, not even the teachers." Her friends laughed. Amina didn't. She walked, breathing slow, centered, every step measured. By lunchtime, the crowd buzzed again, because Kelly wasn't done. At the courtyard tables, she flicked crumbs at Amina's tray. When that got no reaction, she leaned over. "Hey, are you mute or just useless?" Amina took a sip of water. No anger, no retaliation. Kelly huffed. "Keep acting quiet. See how far that gets you." Two girls giggled behind her. She's like a tiny scared animal. Seriously, blink twice if you need help. Amina didn't shrink. Her posture remained straight, shoulders relaxed, calm. That unsettled Kelly most. Mr. Torres passed again, watching the cruelty unfold. His expression tightened. Then he walked on. Students exchanged looks, disappointed, disgusted, but one person watched differently. At the courtyard's edge, beside the equipment shed, Coach Ramsey observed quietly. He wasn't part of the regular staff, just a visiting martial arts evaluator. Most students didn't know his name, but he knew exactly what he was seeing. His gaze locked onto Amina's posture, how she balanced her weight, how she inhaled evenly after humiliation instead of losing control, how she reset her center with each breath, how she never gave her back fully to Kelly, always angled, always aware. Most students saw a quiet girl avoiding conflict. Ramsey saw a fighter conserving energy. He folded his arms. "You're not afraid," he murmured. "You're disciplined." Kelly escalated when Amina stood to throw away trash. She stuck out a foot, trying to trip her. Amina stepped over it without looking, almost sensing it. The crowd reacted. Wait, how did she know? She didn't even break stride. Kelly's face reddened. "You think you're so—" She grabbed Amina's backpack strap, yanking her backward. Amina didn't stumble. She pivoted slightly, regained balance instantly, and said, "Please let go." Kelly shoved the backpack. "What are you, some kind of robot?" Ramsey took a step forward. That pivot wasn't luck. It was training. Kelly's friends were losing steam, uneasy with Amina's unshakable calm, but Kelly pushed harder. "Look at her, all quiet and fake zen. Come on, mouse, squeak!" Amina's jaw tightened a fraction. She spoke softly, without turning. "You don't want to do this," Kelly scoffed. "Really? Or what?" Amina's breathing slowed, controlled, intentional. Ramsey exhaled, impressed. "She's recentering her stance. That's combat breathing." Kelly didn't notice. She stepped forward again. "Come on, mouse. Say something. Cry, break, do anything." Amina turned slightly, eyes meeting Kelly's. Soft voice. Calm tone. Same chilling statement. "You really shouldn't do this." Kelly shivered, not from the words, but because the courtyard reacted like they'd heard a warning bell. Ramsey's eyes sharpened. "That's it," he whispered. "She's trained. Highly trained." Amina walked away, leaving Kelly fuming and confused. Students looked at Kelly differently. Not impressed, not amused, but nervous. Because no one, not even Kelly, understood what they'd witnessed. A warrior choosing restraint. And the day was far from over. PE class buzzed with heat and noise as students poured onto the field, most of them still whispering about Amina's strange calmness and Kelly's escalating obsession. Kelly strutted to the front with the swagger of someone who believed the world was her stage. Amina stood to the side, tying her shoelaces with her usual stillness. Coach Ramsey took attendance quietly, eyes moving between the clipboard and the way Amina shifted her weight. Balanced, controlled, deliberate. He recognized it instantly. Years of training taught him to see what others missed. Kelly, however, saw something different. She saw a target that refused to break. "Hey, mouse!" she shouted across the gym. "Let's see how strong you really are." The class turned. Some groaned, already exhausted by her. Amina didn't look up. Kelly smirked. "What, scared of a little challenge?" She grabbed a medicine ball and slammed it into the floor dramatically. "Come on, strength test, unless you're too weak." Amina shook her head. "I'm not interested." Kelly's smile twitched. Quiet rejection always enraged her. "Oh, I insist." She stepped closer. "Come on, show everyone that you're not just some—" Amina stood slowly, calmly. "Kelly, stop!" Her voice wasn't loud, but it carried. Students felt the shift instantly. Kelly stepped closer, fists clenched. "Or what? You gonna whisper me to death?" A few students laughed nervously. Ramsey watched every detail, every breath, every angle. Amina backed away slightly, not cowering, but resetting her stance. Kelly mistook it for fear. And with everyone watching, she kicked Amina again. This time harder. The sound echoed. The class gasped. Amina staggered but didn't fall. She steadied instantly, too instantly for a regular student. Ramsey's jaw clicked. Enough. He stepped forward, voice suddenly sharp. "Amina." She looked at him. "Defend yourself." The field went silent. Amina froze. She glanced at Kelly, then at her hands. She didn't want this. She didn't want to humiliate anyone. That wasn't why she trained. But Kelly scoffed loudly. "Defend herself. Against me." She shoved Amina's shoulder. "Aw, poor little." Amina bowed. A real martial arts bow. Kelly blinked. "What was that?" But Ramsey understood and stepped back. Amina lifted her head, eyes steady. Kelly, red with anger, charged recklessly, and in a single flowing motion, Amina stepped aside, guided Kelly's arm, rotated her body, swept her leg, and pinned her gently. No pain, no injury, just perfect control. Kelly hit the mat with a loud thump, her scream echoing across the gym. The class erupted. "What? No way! Did you see that? Amina just what?" Kelly twisted desperately, but Amina barely used strength, only technique. Kelly's face drained white. Ramsey blew his whistle, sharp, commanding. The gym fell silent. He approached, hands behind his back. "Class," he said, voice echoing. "Miss Kelly Briggs was just taken down by proper martial arts technique." Kelly flushed red. She cheated. Ramsey continued. "Amina Reed is a second-degree black belt in Shotokan karate." Gasps exploded. Students looked at Amina like she was entirely new. Kelly stopped struggling. Her breath hitched. Her eyes widened, not in pain, but fear. Amina could have hurt her, and didn't. Amina released her, stood, and stepped back respectfully. Kelly scrambled up, humiliated beyond anything she'd ever imagined. Ramsey looked directly at her. "Karate is not for bragging, not for bullying, and not for attacking people who refuse to fight." He turned to Amina. "You showed restraint, discipline, control. That is true strength." Amina bowed again. Kelly's lip trembled. Students whispered. She could have destroyed her. She didn't even try. She was protecting her. She's been holding back the whole time. And the biggest whisper of all. Kelly messed with the wrong girl. The air in Principal Howard's office felt thick enough to choke on. Coach Ramsey stood by the window, arms crossed like carved stone. Amina sat quietly near the corner chair, hands folded neatly in her lap, looking as calm as if she were waiting for a library book. Kelly sat on the opposite side, shoulders shaking, cheeks blotched red from anger and humiliation. Her leg bounced uncontrollably. She avoided Amina's eyes. Then, the door slammed open. Mrs. Monroe stormed in, perfume sharp enough to burn the paint off the walls. "Where is the girl who attacked my daughter?" Her voice cracked like a whip. Principal Howard raised a hand. "Mrs. Monroe, please sit." "No, I will not sit while a violent student is allowed to roam this school. Where is she?" She jabbed a finger at Amina. You assaulted Kelly!" Amina blinked slowly. "I defended myself." Mrs. Monroe scoffed. "Defended? You threw my daughter. You humiliated her in front of the entire school." She turned to the principal. "Call the police, now." Kelly shrank back into her chair, trembling. Howard steepled his fingers. "Mrs. Monroe, we have footage." Mrs. Monroe waved him off. "I don't care what footage you think you have. My daughter is the victim here. This karate girl is dangerous." Ramsey's eyebrow twitched, but he stayed silent. Howard pressed a button. The video began playing on the large wall screen. Kelly kicking Amina hard, twice. Kelly laughing. Students gasping. Amina not retaliating, only stepping aside. Then the final moment. Kelly charging recklessly. Amina redirecting gently. Kelly hitting the ground from her own momentum. Mrs. Monroe's jaw slowly unhinged. "That," she sputtered, "that video is misleading." Ramsey stepped forward. "Nothing about it is misleading." His voice was calm but sharp. "What you saw was your daughter attacking a student who refused to fight. What you also saw was a black belt executing a controlled, defensive redirect. Zero harmful force was used." Mrs. Monroe glared. "Are you even a real coach?" "Yes," he said simply. 20-year instructor, black belt in judo and karate. Former youth defense coordinator. Silence filled the office. Kelly hunched lower, eyes glistening. Mrs. Monroe grasped at straws. "Well, Amina still embarrassed Kelly. She still—" Amina spoke softly, voice quiet but cutting through the room. "I don't fight people," she said. "I control threats." The words were so calm, so disciplined, even Principal Howard froze mid-breath. A single tear slid down Kelly's cheek. Mrs. Monroe spun toward her daughter. "You told me she attacked you." Kelly's lips trembled. I didn't think she'd actually defend herself." Her chest heaved. "I just wanted to scare her." Amina lowered her eyes, compassion flickering instead of triumph. Kelly finally broke, sobbing into her hands. Mrs. Monroe stared between the footage, the principal and her daughter, disbelief crumbling into shame. Howard clasped his hands. "Mrs. Monroe," he said evenly, "your daughter initiated physical violence on school property. Twice, and encouraged others to mock and harass another student." Mrs. Monroe swallowed hard, eyes glossy. "And what happens now?" Howard gestured to Ramsey. Ramsey stepped forward, tone firm, but not cruel. "Kelly will face disciplinary action for repeated aggression and bullying. She will attend a 6-week restorative justice program. You, Mrs. Monroe, must sign off on therapy referrals for anger and empathy training." Kelly let out a small cry. "Mom, I'm sorry." Mrs. Monroe pulled her close, shaken by the truth. Howard turned to Amina. "As for you, Amina," he nodded with respect. "Your restraint and discipline will be noted in a formal report as an example of responsible self-defense." Amina bowed her head politely. Mrs. Monroe inhaled shakily. "Amina, I didn't know. I'm sorry, you don't need to apologize to me," Amina said gently. She looked at Kelly. "Help her. She needs that more." Kelly sobbed harder. For the first time, Mrs. Monroe had no argument, only realization. And in that office, the truth became undeniable. Discipline defeated aggression. Grace defeated cruelty. And the quiet girl everyone underestimated showed what real strength looked like. For the first time all year, the courtyard felt different. Quieter. Calmer. Like something heavy had lifted off the school's shoulders. Amina stepped into the morning sunlight wearing her PE uniform, a crisp white band wrapped around her wrist, not for injury, but because Coach Ramsey suggested it as a symbol of discipline and balance. She didn't want attention, but attention found her anyway. A small group of younger girls crowded near the benches, watching her with wide, hopeful eyes. Um, Amina? A seventh grader asked softly. Can you teach us how you stayed calm when Kelly kicked you? Amina blinked, surprised. She wasn't expecting that. Ramsey, standing nearby with his clipboard, gave her an encouraging nod. Go on, he murmured. They're asking because they see something in you. Amina took a slow breath, the same steady inhale her sensei taught her years ago, and turned toward the girls. Okay, she said softly. Let's start with how you stand. The girls scrambled into a circle. Amina positioned her feet shoulder-width apart, shoulders relaxed, chin leveled, not aggressive, not timid, just present. This, she said, is confident posture. It tells bullies, I'm not afraid of you, even if you are. The girls mimicked her. Some wobbled, some stiffened, but Amina smiled gently and helped each one. Ramsey crossed his arms, watching proudly. Within minutes, the courtyard filled with the rhythmic thump of girls shifting their stance, learning to move with purpose, not to fight, but to stand, to own space, to claim power. News spread quickly. Students drifted in, whispering, That's the girl who pinned Kelly. She didn't even hurt her. She's incredible. Even teachers paused at classroom doors, watching with soft smiles. Amina never raised her voice, never acted superior. She simply taught, patient, calm, grounded. Stillness spread over the courtyard like a warm blanket. Then someone appeared across the walkway. Kelly, suspended for 2 weeks, forced into anger management sessions, eyes darker, quieter, ashamed. She stood near the wall, hugging her backpack like armor. She didn't dare step closer. Not after the footage, not after the meltdown, not after realizing the person she mocked was stronger in every way. Amina noticed her, but she didn't call attention. She kept teaching. Confidence, Amina said, isn't loud. It's quiet. It's knowing you don't need to prove anything. Kelly's breath hitched. Ramsey glanced at her but didn't intervene. Some lessons a person must face alone. A girl raised her hand. What if someone keeps bullying you? Amina looked toward Kelly briefly, then back at the girls. Then you get stronger inside, she said. Strong enough not to become like them. Kelly wiped tears quickly. Principal Howard stepped out of the building, hearing the end. His gaze swept the courtyard, the empowered younger girls, Ramsey nodding proudly, and Amina standing tall at the center. He approached her with a warm smile. Amina Reed, he said, the school board approved Coach Ramsey's proposal. Your self-defense and confidence workshop is now official. The girls gasped and clapped. Amina's eyes widened. Really? Howard nodded. Your restraint, discipline, leadership, it's exactly what this school needs. Ramsey added, I meant what I said. I'd like to mentor you. You have skill, but you also have heart. Amina bowed politely, overwhelmed. Nearby, Kelly flinched, not from jealousy, but realization. She watched the girl she once treated as powerless become someone the school respected, admired, and depended on. Ramsey lowered his voice. You good, Kelly? He asked gently. Kelly nodded, but tears slipped down. Amina noticed. Their eyes met. Kelly looked away quickly but whispered, I'm sorry. Amina didn't smile, didn't gloat, didn't punish. She simply nodded once, quiet acknowledgement, offering peace. Howard clapped lightly. All right, everyone, back to class. Students dispersed, but the younger girls stayed close to Amina, practicing their stances as they walked. Amina lingered, looking around the courtyard. The same courtyard where she'd been kicked, mocked, underestimated. The same courtyard where she now taught courage, where silence had become strength, and where the quietest girl in school became the one everyone listened to. If this story reminded you that real strength isn't the loudest voice, and dignity belongs even to the quietest among us, tap like and hit subscribe, so you never miss the next story where truth rises, bullies fall silent, and quiet courage finally gets the respect it deserves.